Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. I don't know.
Welcome.
I'm on it tonight. Okay. Welcome back to the Unhinged Bookcast. This is a book podcast hosted by two book besties. I'm LJ.
And I'm Jess. Whether this is your first time joining or you've been here from the start, we are happy and thankful that you are joining us.
Whether we're deep diving into thoughts and theories or just riding the vibes, we love discussing our current needs with each other and now with all of you.
Tonight we are talking about the War of Lost Hearts series by Carissa Broadbent with the start of Book 2, Children of the Fallen Gods, chapters prologue through chapter 26.
You can join our discussions chapter by chapter in our club on the Fable app without spoilers. We have one book club for the current podcast read and another for Book Besties Thursdays.
Book Besties Thursdays is more of a monthly book club where we read a book together and discuss it as a whole, just like a book club.
Make sure to follow, like, and subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, Fable, and right here on YouTube for new episodes, updates, and fun book related content.
And don't forget to share, it helps us grow and reach new friends. But before we get started, we need to give a quick content warning.
We are reading romantic fantasy books, which tend to include violence and open door romance.
Though our conversations tend to skirt these topics, we do frequently use naughty words that are not intended for little listening ears.
Okay, so we started a new book, and holy
Oh
shite,
my gosh, I know.
the characters, but
And
also
mhm,
we have like a whole nother like I don't know. Okay, I don't know if I
story.
want to say storyline. Yeah, I was gonna say timeline, or like
Yeah.
that's not exactly right. So we have a whole nother like storyline going on as well. So that makes sense that we have
Yes,
a bunch, but holy crap, even in that we have a whole bunch.
it does. And I even like left out a handful of them too.
Oh yeah.
That I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if they were like, I was like, at first I was writing down all the names and then I was started getting picky there towards the end of our reading. Like, is this really someone that we need to talk about or not? I don't know.
Might as well
So
just
throw
figure
them
it
out
out
there
as
at
we
this point. Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's
So
get this
you
going.
had most of them, and then I had a couple, and then I had like some thoughts on a couple. So
Okay. All right. Okay, so we'll start off with okay, and then also before I start, I did appreciate as I was looking through the notes, because Leslie listened and I eyeball read, um, I did appreciate the phonetic spelling next to a lot of my names
a
in here
lot of
because
them.
I
Do you
was
like
like,
some how I phonetically
yes,
spelled some of them? I was like,
you
this
did a
isn't like
great
actually
job.
correct, but if you're looking at
No,
this, this looks right.
you did a great job because I was like, oh, that makes sense. I can understand this. So, okay. So, starting off, we have Phileas and Ryasha. Please feel free to
I
like
think it was
fix me on
Raisha.
any of them. Raisha.
I
Okay.
think it was Phyllis and Raisha. I
Phyllis
think.
and Raisha. Okay.
I think
All
so.
right, cool. These two are refugees from Thrall. Phyllis or Phileas, whatever his name is, he is male, young man, dark short hair, narrow and assessing eyes. And then Raisha, female, 50s, calm face, red and gray streaked hair. And they kind of, especially Raisha, seem to be people that the other Threllians are kind of looking to for guidance. And then we have Elias, captain. So this is captain in the Queen's Guard. They meet him when they get back to Thrall, which we'll talk more about later. But Max and Elias first met when Elias was in his early 30s, and now he's like an older guy and a little bit gray. I'm thinking this is like 10 years after Max fought in the war. I'm really not sure. I guess we can talk a little bit more about that later because that's been a question I've had this entire chapter chunk was like, how old is Max? And where
I
are we
think he's
at
like in his
timeline wise?
30s or something like
That's what I
that.
was thinking
I
too.
feel like that's what she said when like she first described him.
Okay, and I may have missed that. Because at first I was thinking like the timeline, I'm like, is he in like his 40s? Because that's kind of like ick to me that he's like 40s and she's like 20s. Whatever.
Yeah.
If that's your thing, it's your thing, whatever. It's okay.
I mean,
But
I got me an old man. He's
yeah, but
currently
he's
opening my
not.
fruit snacks because they're childproof and I couldn't get it and I had to give it to my husband.
They're Leslie proof.
They are both proof.
Oh, that's great. Anyways, okay. That's why I put that in there about Elias, because I was like, couldn't figure out the timeline, and that was, yeah. So, was in his
Yep.
30s when he first met him. Now he's older.
Yeah.
That's all we know. All right, and then we have Atric Aveness. This is
Yep.
Cessary's uncle, Queen Cessary, the teenager, Queen Cessary's uncle, but it'd be her mother's brother, and he claims to be the rightful heir to the throne, and we'll discuss him more later. Um, and then we have Vivian and Aunt Sarah. We don't know
Mhm.
anything about them really, except for that they're two more Sirezines, so some two more names that we got for some of the Sirezine. Zero's in.
Yeah, the eyeball-less ladies.
Yes.
Okay, and now we have our second storyline,
Hmm.
which is Aphie.
I was wondering how you pronounce that. I was having a hell of a time with it.
Aphie.
Aifee.
Okay,
There's a
so this
lot of
is
vowels in this letter
right,
or
and
word.
like correct me if I get some of this wrong,
Mhm.
because like I said, migraine all week, and
Mm.
just was listening to it and doing my best, and I was like, she'll correct me, it's fine. Okay, so she is a princess, and it says so, and I like screenshotted it, but I think you had it like
Hmm.
later, so we can get there when we get there. But a princess, House of
Hmm.
Obsidian, the heir to the greatest power in the greatest house of all Fey nations, supposedly.
Hmm.
She was the Tyrannus, which I think is the heir, is what that should mean.
Yeah, because the Tyrn is the king in
King,
the
so
Fey
your
world, and so Tyrnus would be like the princess,
heir.
basically. Heir,
Yeah,
yes. Hmm.
more or less. Okay. But she is no longer for reasons that we will talk about later.
Yes.
Okay. And ready for this one?
Hmm.
Okay. This one is Shibon.
Okay, I knew
Siobhan.
I knew the
Shibon.
SIOB part at the beginning there. That's like, I don't know, somebody listening is gonna be like, she's stupid, but Scottish or Irish or something like, I knew that that said she, but I could not figure out this damn word.
You know what? It was really funny that like we were talking about like speaking French earlier because a
Yeah,
lot of these names kind of sound French other than Cadwan
right?
because his like accent
Uh-huh.
is very Scottishy, Irishy kind of.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
is how the narrator does it. Like I said,
Hmm.
I didn't really care for the female narrator, and I don't like either one of them because it is kind of
Hmm.
like okay, so the max chapters are the dude, and then the female chapters are the one chick, but like they do all the parts in that chapter,
I
and I
hate that
hate
kind of
it.
narration. That is my least
That on
favorite.
top, I hate, and then just like I don't like either one of them's voice
Dang
in
it.
general. So it
Really
really
don't feel like that's
sucks.
helping
Yeah,
you.
no, it's not, but I'm committed. So
Okay.
anyway, so Shibon, that's how I thought I
Um,
could have swore I heard it. Shibon. Okay, so the
okay.
general in the blades, which is I'm assuming like kind of like their army is what I got out of it.
Yeah, I think so. They kind of seem like they're almost like the special forces of the army. Maybe.
Warriors, maybe their own Sizrin or what I don't know. King's Guard, maybe.
Maybe, yeah, something
King's
like that.
Guard, maybe something more like that.
Sure.
Okay. Of the House of Obsidian.
Hmm.
Okay. And then we have, like I said, Cadwan Ear.
You
Oh,
put the
jeez.
phonetic
I had
spelling
it.
right there.
I still got it wrong. Earo. Earo. Cadwan Earo. I got the first one right like every single time. Earo. Okay. So this is the man that was found like basically on death's doorstep on the
Hmm.
outskirts of this obsidian house
Also
yard thing,
obsidian.
whatever. Okay.
Hmm.
Supposedly he's the 13th in line for the crown of the House of Stone, which changes obviously during
Hmm.
this.
Hmm.
And then he has purple blood, which I missed, but you threw that in there. So,
I kind of am guessing that all Fae have purple blood in this
mm.
series. I just threw that in there because
Oh, we
sometimes,
forgot to mention these past three are Fae.
yes, they're all Fae. We have a
They're
whole
all
new
Fae.
thing going on in this book.
Yes.
Yes,
Wow. Okay.
which we're
Yeah.
going to talk a lot about
We have a lot of
later, but yes,
conversations coming, but yeah.
we do.
Oh, I told you I have ADHD brain so bad today. It's not even funny.
You're good. Plus a migraine. I mean, like,
I
shit.
mean, I'm just hanging in there right now. Okay. What's
Okay,
your next one?
and then we have Lysera. Is that how I say it? Or is it Lysera?
Like
Lysera?
Sarah.
Lysera. This is Max's quote unquote miserable aunt.
Hilarious.
So I didn't realize he had any family members left to talk
Me
about, which we're also going
neither.
to
And
talk
I
more
have that
about that
question
later.
later.
We'll talk about that later. But yeah, so this is his aunt, apparently.
Yep. Okay. This one only listened to it like just real quick. And I think it was Orchid,
That sounds right. Looks
Aphie's
right.
sister and heir to the throne of Obsidian, or now is the heir to Obsidian,
Hmm.
and she is the or to be the Tyrannus, which we just
Hmm.
talked about instead of Aphie. Holy smokes, we have way too many more new names and new words.
We have a lot. So do you want to go every other on this next chunk? Because there's a ton of them.
Yes, let's do
Okay.
it.
All right. So then we have Mathera and her sisters. So this would be the gods that the Fae pray to.
Yes, supposedly.
Hmm.
Okay, Plain. The
Claim.
Sydney Master of War and Spycraft.
Hmm. And just for clarification, because I know I didn't put it in the notes anywhere and I was confused as crap for a second, Sydney is like the shortened version of what they call the obsidian. They have little like weird, like shortened or lengthened words for all the names of the people that come from the houses.
See, I thought
So,
that was more like the name of the Fae on their continent.
no, the Sydney are from obsidian, and then you've got like I can't remember what they all of them
Oh,
had
so Sydney would
different.
be like the plural.
Yes, it would be
Okay.
like saying like Threllians versus those that are from Threll. So those that are from
Okay.
Obsidian are the Sydney, and they have different, yeah,
That makes so
all of
much
them
more
are different
sense.
like that. It
Okay.
took me a minute to figure that out, but yes. Okay. Anyways, okay, then we have Essany or Asani. I'm not
Esme
sure.
and Aerith.
Esne and Aerith. Okay, so these are two commanders under Max. So Esne is Solary. She's mid-40s, tall, serious, and has an amicable friendship with Zareth, unfortunately. And Aerith is Valtane, intelligent, and seems to be a good leader.
Yep. Philippe
Philippe!
Lore. I don't know. I wanted to say it like that.
That is the most French name ever. Philippe!
Philippe. I don't know why I even said it like that, but I did. So this is another soldier under Max. His brother Rain served with Max in the war before and didn't make it.
And I think they were kind of like friends. He seemed to know him better than like some of
Oh,
his other
more than some of the
soldiers.
others. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we have Shadia?
Shadiah sounds way
Shadia?
closer. I
Okay,
think,
so
yeah.
this is the queen of the House of Wayward Winds.
Shadia. I don't
Shadia?
know. I give up. Let's keep going.
There's a lot of weird names in this book.
So
Um,
many.
yeah, so Queen of the House of Wayward Winds, and I think I talk more about this later, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
If not,
I
I'll
made
bring
a
it up
note about
later.
it.
Let's get through these characters.
Yep. Alva, Afy's mother.
Okay. Then Tierna Rednak.
Sure.
And I know that that's probably said more with like a Scottish accent, but I can't do that like
Nyark.
thing in the back of my throat.
What
So
was that?
that's what I can't do.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, let's move
Okay, that's
forward
the
here.
night it's gonna be. Okay, so that's Affy's father.
Ify's
Afy.
father,
Afy. F-O-F.
Ify's father,
Jesus, I quit.
and the King of Obsidian. But
Yes.
this is where I realized and figured out that Tierna slash Tierness is like their term for the king and or queen
Yes.
of their realm or whatever.
C. Okay. Ready?
Hmm.
Ishka.
Nice.
And oh my goodness. Okay, I practiced this one. Isaac. So like
Isaac.
I no wait.
Ajaka?
Isaac.
Ajaka?
Isaac. Yeah,
Ajak.
I think that's what I meant to
Ajak.
try.
Ajak.
It was like
Okay.
Isaac.
Why do I
So
feel
I don't
angry when I
know.
say that? I feel aggressive when I say that. Ajak.
I don't know. It was so quick. I don't know. And then
You know
I was
what?
just
I
like, who the
appreciate.
fuck is this person? And
How do you say the last
anyway,
name?
Sayus.
Say yes. Okay.
Yeah. So these are the two leading generals for Shadya, or I don't remember what that one is. So I'm just like making this
Shadia.
one up
Shadia.
as I go,
Good
Shadya.
Lord.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, and then we have Ashria.
Yes.
Very much appreciate your pronunciations yet again. Um, this is one of the another one of the generals in Shadia's military.
Correct. Okay. I tried this one like 5 times. Okay. So like there is kind of like a little bit of an O sound, but we're just gonna say
Okay.
Imara, okay? Because I
Okay.
don't think I can roll an O. I could roll an R. I can't roll
Hmm.
an O.
I can't
Okay. I
roll
don't know if that makes
anything.
any sense. And- insert drug joke here.
What I was thinking.
Okay,
Oh crap.
take that out. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Anyway, this is an old friend of Max's. She has knowledge of magic outside of the Solaire or Veltane. She helps him with the binding spell Zareth has between himself and T.
Yeah, helps Max figure it out. Sorry, my note wasn't great with that.
No, you're good. I was trying to read ahead of myself, and then I just
You're
decided
good.
not to. I was gonna read the words that were there because if I got ahead of myself, we were screwed. I was just gonna tell you what I thought of everything and how it all went down in my head.
Yeah, we'll talk about that at the very end of plot points. I know I have that
Yes.
in there much later, but
Yeah,
all right. And then we have Eric. This is Imara's brother.
correct. Varder.
I'm so
Okay.
glad you got that one.
And you like how I said make it French?
Yes, I couldn't figure out how to do that.
Varder.
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 I'm still doing it wrong, but Varder. Anyway, I failed French only because I could not speak it. I could read it, I could hear it, like all the things. I could not speak French. But anyway, sounded very French to me. Anyway,
Varder.
okay. This is a miserable man that we haven't met yet, but who is apparently responsible for Rocher and knows how to break blood packs. Dun
Yes.
dun dun.
We
I don't
pretty
know.
much ended our chapter chunk talking about how we're gonna go see this man and then end of story.
Yeah. And
So,
then so I put in here just because we have like put like different things that like we learn what they mean or
mhm,
like whatever it is in new characters before. So it's not a new
yep.
character, it's a new thing, but it's called a morel,
Okay.
magic toxicity sickness. Okay, so location, also known as map rants. And
Mhm.
I see that you have notes.
I actually do kind of have notes. So, first thing when you open up the book, obviously, is the map before anything else. And so yeah, so I put like I don't usually have anything for location, but just opening up the book for the first time and notice that the map has changed, and we have now added a whole new continent, the Feylands. And these have been talked about briefly here and there in book one. But you just looking at it, I'm like, oh, we're about to get into some new information in this book. Um, and then with that, there's a new little island on the map too that like the whole continent of the Feylands is new, but for some reason this little continent stood out to me on the map, and it's Naraja. Maybe Narata.
Naraja.
Can't tell because the writing is like all fancy and swirly and squirrely and stuff in the map, and I could not tell if it was a J or a T. So
Yeah. So I said that that would be Naraja, is what I'm assuming, obviously.
that's what it says
This
in
is
the
the
book later. So,
exiled. Yes, this is in the book later. This is in the spot. This is the exiled nation where Fey humans breed. Fey and humans breed. LOL is what I put.
mm-hmm,
Okay. So I was very curious to see if the map was different. And
mm-hmm.
I'm glad that I read your note ahead of time because I didn't see the first map and I didn't see this one
Oh
either.
yeah.
So I want you to send me pictures just because I would love to see
Do you
them.
want them right now or later?
I mean, whenever, but I thought
Okay.
that would be cool. Um, and maybe that's like another reason that I'm like, I don't even know what's going on because
Yeah, you
I
gotta
didn't
see the
see the first map
maps.
either. I could have swore I asked you for it, but maybe I didn't
Yeah, you probably
because I
did.
didn't
You
see it
know
when I
how I am with
downloaded it on
things.
the
You have to
Kindle.
remind me like 10,000
I
times,
know.
like, hey, fill out this bracket thing. And I'm like, oh shit, yep, you're right. My bad.
Yeah, it's cool. It's fine.
Sorry. Yeah, you definitely
Um,
asked me for them. Sorry.
yeah, no, you're good. So this is, I felt like this was the best place to put my chapter 9 note. I was trying to decide where I wanted to put it.
Hmm.
But I have one note from chapter 9. Okay. And this is when Tasana is talking to Zareth.
Hmm.
And she asks if he remembers the time when she was roughly 14 years old. And Zareth was cutting into an apple to like show her basically a map with all the continents. Okay. And then she says, even the Fey realms. And I was like, this is so interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And like you said that now there's another map that has this in it, but my like okay, this has more going on with my thoughts and theories later. But
Okay.
also, um, my thought was like I didn't think until that moment, like in Tasana's life, that
Hmm.
Fey realms had been mentioned. Obviously, just a little bit earlier before this, in chapter 9, before chapter 9, we
Hmm.
had met Aphie, obviously, and we know that we found out she's
Right.
Fey and stuff like that. So like you're like, oh, okay, where the fuck did this come from? And then Tasana is now like she knows about Fey realms.
Because I know. there was a couple brief, very brief mentions of Fae in Daughter of No Worlds.
Okay, I'll search it. I'll try to search it.
That's what I say. Yeah, search it if you still have the book on
The
your
Fey
Kindle. You should
realms.
search it.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see how many times because I know it was in there, but I just have the physical book, so I didn't feel like physically searching for it over.
No, you're good. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
That
yeah,
would be
yeah.
way harder. Okay, I'll look.
But yeah, that'd be
But
good. But
yeah,
I didn't pick up on that though,
but
that you
yes.
did.
So
Like I
it's
did
very
not
much
pick
that
up on that.
like
That's awesome.
she knows it's okay. So this is like obviously me thinking that it wasn't in the first book because I don't remember
Sure.
hearing it,
Hmm.
but she mentioning the Fey realms,
Hmm.
like she said, even the Fey realms, like was very like purposeful, like that she knows
Yeah.
that those are there. And he knows that those are there.
Uh-huh.
So, like I said, those were my thoughts and theories way later,
And he
but
knows well enough to be able to carve it into an apple as he's making her a map.
to
That's
show
very
her.
interesting. I did not pick up on that part there.
Yeah. And like I know that's like later in plot points, but like this felt like
This is a good place to put it. Yep.
good place to put this note and like actually have this little bit of a conversation. So
Yeah, I agree.
cool.
Before we move
Okay.
on, though, from location, I will just say anybody else who does not have the maps, and I will send them to you, Leslie. But in book one, it is literally just Ara, the continent of Ara, and then it has like Sarlazai, the Rivenite Territory, Corvius, the Ilizath prison, which did get mentioned once or twice in book one, but we haven't seen yet. But it's like a little island off of the continent of Ara. Max's cottage, capital city, some place called Vernea, Tarn. Then there's a couple little dots of like these southern isles down here next to Ara. Then across the sea we have Threll, and literally the only thing other than the word Threll on the continent is the Mikava state, which would be Esmaris, where Tasana was a slave. And that's it for book one.
Okay.
And there's like kind of some clouds up in the corner, like some misty cloud looking things. Um, I guess you could say shielding us from whatever's above Threll. Then in
Is
book
this like
two,
the this
was
isn't
it
too much. Is this kind of like the from Blood and Ash
from Blood and
series
Ash? A little bit.
where the map
Yeah,
just
that's
keeps
what,
growing each time?
yes, that's what it
Okay.
reminded me of a lot. So then in Children of the Fallen Gods, so bottom left corner, we have Ara much smaller because the map has grown a ton. Bottom right, we have Thrall, which is gigantic compared to Ara, by the way. Ara's like a little crescent moon, basically. Thrall is massive.
Interesting.
Thrall still only has the Mikava State, is the only place on it. Ara still has all the same places I said before. Then between Thrall and this whole new continent that's also massive, which would be the Feylands, we have Naraja. And then we have the Feylands, which covers pretty much the entire top of the map on both pages. And then it shows the House of Wayward Winds, of Roiled Waves, House of Reeds, House of Obsidian, Yathara, which is not the house of, it just says Yathara, House of Nautilus, House of Stone. Um, yeah, that's it. And then the Naraja, which is
Okay,
an
so all the different
island.
houses.
Yes, and Naraja is an island between
That's
Threll
the southernmost, yeah.
and the Fey
Between
Islands.
Threll.
Between Threll and the Feylands. Yes, it's not connected to either.
Interesting.
It is literally in the middle
A
of the
very in
human
between
lands
of
and
human
the
and
Feylands.
fey.
So
Interesting.
I will send you pictures after we get off. Please remind me.
Okay.
Because if I don't do stuff right away when you tell me to, then I forget. So
Yeah. So and then all that's in Threll is the Macabre Estate.
that is it. There is nothing else
Okay,
in
and
it.
that's where
Hmm.
that's what's this? Oh, I almost said a word.
Asmaris.
Asmaris. Yes, I almost said a different word. A different name. Oh, buddy. Okay.
But
So let's do history and
let's
stories
do
from the
history.
past.
All right. So, starting in chapter 4. So, I'm not exactly sure how to introduce this. We kind of already did in characters, but we have a whole new POV in this
Okay.
book.
You want to know how I heard this first? And I like lost my shit. Okay.
What?
I didn't hear the Aphie part or whatever.
Oh no.
That so I thought this was Tisana, right? And it says how it opens up. Okay, I screenshotted it because I like lost my shit when I was listening to it. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm fucking right." Okay, so it
Oh, with
says,
the princess.
yeah, it says, okay, so chapter 4, Afy. I apparently didn't hear that part. Okay. Or like wasn't paying attention enough.
It's
Once
easy
upon
when
a
you're listening.
time, I was a princess. I was just a child then, of course, too young to know better than to wear that power, that safety carelessly. Like most children, I saw my circumstances as constant and unmoving. And I was like, oh my God,
Oh my God.
lost my shit.
Oh, that's hilarious. It's
Lost my
so easy to do when you're listening to miss like the title of a chapter or the
Right.
little like notes
The
about a
funniest
chapter.
part is I was like gonna show you. I'm like, she is a fucking princess and she knows it, and I'm so pissed.
We were gonna
But
get into an
okay,
argument.
but yes, and then I screenshot it, right? And then I'm looking at it and I was like, this is a different person. Because mind you, that's as far as I got through listening
Yeah.
to it before I lost my shit. So anyway,
That's
this is a
hilarious.
new person, just in
New
case you didn't
person.
know.
Let's just clarify that for everybody here.
Yes.
New person, new point of view, point of view, good Lord.
Point of
Point
V.
of view.
I mean, sometimes you gotta point the V. I mean, it all
Okay.
works.
We have a lot of notes to get through
We
tonight, and I
gotta
am
stop.
squirreling so bad. Okay. New POV. Afy. Okay, so she is, we talked about it a little bit already, the Tyranness of the House of Obsidian in the Fey Lands. But she says, like, right off the bat that never should have held this title. Her blood was tainted, cursed, unsuitable. One night she wakes up with her father's hands around her throat. He didn't kill her, though. She says perhaps he should have for what she was, but instead of taking her life, he took her title, and by morning, her sister had taken over all the spaces of her old life. And then the part that you were just saying, once upon a time, I was a princess, but that was a long time ago, and I've been hitting the ground ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So then moving into chapter 10, I have so much more about all of this in plot points, so we'll get there, but let's just
Yeah.
keep moving here. So,
Mystery.
chapter 10, most Fey houses fall into one of two alliances, the Titheri or the Kydre. What am I gonna say? Kadre?
Kadra, I thought.
Kadra? Okay, Kadra. So these two houses are on, or not houses, but alliances, whatever. They're on rocky terms at best, and it has been many years since the two had warred, but when they had, it had been horrific. But they're like teaming up now in chapter 10.
Yes.
Chapter 19. Crap, what's his name? Ishka? Ishka? Is that right?
Ishka.
Ishka. Ishka transforms into a beautiful golden owl, and Ashria, Ashreya,
Ashria. Yep.
Ashria turns into a large black and brown eagle. So this is a special thing for the people of the Wayward Winds. They have wings, which at first it wasn't clear if they just like were like seraphim or something like that and they just grew wings, but apparently they turn into birds.
Mm-hmm.
Different kinds of birds. All right, chapter 23. So then we have something called a snara. This is what Aphie is.
Mm-hmm.
So supposedly this is cursed. She's cursed. Um, in the book, it says, quote, scriptures told of the Esnera. They were incarnations of corruption. Mathera, mother of all souls, sheltered the bodiless spirits of all Sydney away from the corrupted forces beyond her reach. But before birth, Aphie believes her soul must have slipped from her grasp, wandering out into the poison beyond her safety. It was rare and it was terrible. So this is why they say her blood is cursed,
Mm-hmm.
supposedly. Then chapter 26, my last note for history. Aphie was 10 when I think it was a healer. I can't remember exactly what it was.
I
Somebody,
don't remember.
somebody was poking around with cause, which is what made me think it was a healer. Anyway, she was 10 years old when they found this curse in her blood. And usually these Esnera or cursed ones are killed, which is what seems to be like what her father set out to do that night. Um, when we hear about in chapter 4 when he was like strangling her. But he stopped and instead stripped her of her title and then sent her to be trained in the blades instead of killing her.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
also feel like don't have confirmation yet, but I am almost 100% sure that all of the Aphie point of view chapters are history because I think this all happened a very long time ago, which we can talk about
This is
later.
my question for later.
Okay, we'll talk about this later. So that's all
Okay.
I have for history right now. Let's move
Okay.
on to plot points and we can just unwrap all this later.
Yeah. Sounds
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Okay, so plot points. These are quick rapid fire bullet point notes. We'll try to keep them as rapid fire as we can.
We'll do our best.
Tonight we are on one that we
Mhm.
think are important to the story as a whole. So you go ahead and start.
Okay, so first off, in the prologue, which was literally like 3 paragraphs and that's it, quote, it says, "It began with a whisper and it will end with a scream. What comes between is still to be seen." Okay, question, whose POV do you think this prologue is from?
Roche.
Okay. Yeah, I
What do
thought so
you think?
too. I think so too,
Oh,
but I also sort of, and again, maybe we need to talk about this later and maybe more thoughts and theories, but I kind of think it could also be Aphie. But I also kind of think they could be the same-ish person. And yep, we'll talk about this later.
yep, yep. I think we might be
Okay.
on the same thing. Okay. Okay.
All right,
So
chapter 1.
yeah.
Sorry, unless you had more to say.
No, 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 no.
Okay, we're
You're
just
good.
moving
Go
forward
ahead.
here.
Yes.
All right, moving to chapter 1. Apparently Tasana's veins are turning like black under her skin. They're no longer like the bluish normal color of a vein. They're like black and ugly looking. So then we move on to chapter 2. Um, so they get back to Ara. They were in Thrall. They come back to Ara. Okay, and they're trying to dock, but there are warships in the harbor and the Queen's Guard is everywhere, except their uniforms are just slightly different from those that actually were the Queen's Guard. They now bear a red sigil of some sort.
Yep.
Then chapter 2 again. Apparently they, as in Tisana, Nura, all those guys that are coming back from Thrall, are now traitors to the crown because they are soldiers of Zareth Aldris, traitors
Hmm.
to the quote rightful king of Ara, Atric Avinus, which is Cesri's uncle, her father's brother-in-law.
Yeah. That was like one of the first notes I had too. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
What the fuck?
yeah, yeah.
So
Which I guess our last book did end with Zareth telling Nura, by the time you get back, Cesri will be dead. So
yeah, but I
he
didn't think
was
that like
right.
it would put him on the
Oh my gosh.
crown. But
Yes. Yes. And have this whole battle for the crown thing going on. And this
yes.
Atric guy, he kind of came out of thin air, didn't he? Because I don't think we've
Kinda,
heard
I
about
think he
him
just,
yet.
yeah, I think he just kind of, but I mean, he's right.
But if he's the king's brother-in-law, that,
Oh, yeah, he'd
would
still have
make
to
sense
fight
that
for
he
that
wouldn't
a
be
little
like a
bit.
forward player at all. So,
But also, like, it says something, I think this is a little bit later, but about how, like, Zareth had it, like, Cesare had papers or whatever written that
right. And we didn't talk about, I don't think I have that
in
in notes,
her
and I don't think you
death
did
it
either.
would go to Zaldrith or
To
whatever.
Zareth. It would go to
Yeah,
Zareth.
Zareth, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, Archcommandant of the Orders. He's the most qualified to take over in the event of my passing, which I think she was definitely
And
coerced
fake.
into.
Yeah.
Faked or coerced or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, then
Those
we
were
have
my thoughts there.
yeah. So then we have chapter 3. So a fight breaks out between them, being Nura, Max, Tasana, those guys,
Yep.
as they're trying to dock here, and Elias, which we talked about a little bit, who he is, and the guards. So suddenly, then they're fighting, not sure how they're gonna get out of this, and then suddenly everything goes black. And then when Tasana comes to, they are in Corvius, which is Max's childhood home. And the Cyrazine, it seems like the Cyrazine are the ones that got them out and brought them there, saying that the king wants to see them, being Zareth.
Mm. Yep.
Okay.
I had the
Did you have any
same
more on
thought,
that?
but the only thought I thought I had was I thought they said that the Sirezine was taking the Thrall people out first.
Okay.
Um, and then that's when they came back for him, but like she didn't see it coming.
It could be.
But it was like how they landed on, and like she knows kind of where it is, like she can remember the house. Or no,
Mm-hmm.
Brochet goes, "Oh,
Roche, yeah.
I haven't been here in forever," or whatever like
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
And then Max is like, "What the fuck?"
Right.
Um, so I think, and then that's when they were like, the king wants to see him, and that's when everybody's like, "Wait, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the king? What? Okay.
yeah, that was the only extra I had for that note.
Mhm. Okay, then chapter 4 again. We literally pretty much talked about this already, but
Just talked about
chapter
this.
4
Yep.
is our Aphie POV, where she talks about what happened with her father and all that, which I talked about in history already. So,
Yep.
and then
And chapter
more in chapter
four.
4. So again, so in just reading chapter 4, hadn't read further, but it said I can't tell if this chapter is supposed to be history or not, and I wasn't sure at that point what it was going to be. Still have thoughts on that, but anyways, in chapter 4 here we find out that Aphie is fighting to have a spot on the Blades, which is the House of Obsidian's like army or whatever we were talking about, special forces. Some stuff happens that leads her to about a dozen Fae that are mutilated and dying, like on the outskirts of Obsidian. She takes one of the men on her horse to get help, and he's like a complete mess on death's
Mhm.
doorstep. And he says some stuff before he passes out about humans doing this to them, and then he says how he's 13th in line for the crown, and then he passes out. So at this point, I had no clue what was going on.
All of a sudden, I started getting interested, and
Hmm.
this is probably like the first tack I put in like my red string board. So,
Ah, nice.
yes, I
Okay.
have one going for sure now.
Good. Good.
Yes.
Because I'm a little lost without your thoughts and theories because I just read and take notes,
Yeah.
but
And like
I'm not good at the theorizing part.
yeah. And this is definitely like, I'm way more interested and now invested
Hmm.
than I was in the first book.
Good. I'm glad to hear
And
that.
it's mostly I'm invested for this story.
Okay. Yes, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, chapter 5. So apparently, Bran, which is Max's older brother, is alive, and he's been gone from Ara for 10 years to go and wander Besrith. I was like,
Dude,
what the
right?
fuck?
I was, and I really, this is a genuine question. Like, did we miss that in the first book, or like, does this feel added to me? I was just like, where the fuck did that come from? I feel like this is just added, but
I
I
had
could.
the same thoughts. I was like, did I miss something? Because it sounded to me like they were all dead. But if you go back and
Uh-huh.
read the part where Rashay kills all of his family through him, um, it does not talk about Bran. It goes through all of the other family members, but it does not talk about him. So I guess it doesn't
He was an
clearly say he's
afterthought.
not there, but he is like the older brother, so maybe he was already not, he just wasn't there. He was probably gone at that time, I'm gonna guess, is he was gone already or whatever. Yeah,
Maybe the
but
author just needed to bring somebody back and welcome to the soap
maybe.
opera.
I mean, he wasn't there. If you go reread that, he wasn't there because I did reread it.
Okay.
He's not there at that time. So it's not like he escaped or anything like that. I think we were maybe supposed to miss that he wasn't there and not pay attention to it.
Or that he wasn't even, I don't know. I didn't even remember seeing the name, but
The only time we see that name is when he is saying all of his siblings' names, telling Tasana about all his
mm,
siblings' names. But yeah, but that name does not show up in the account of what happened to his family.
so it's
So,
Bran because he's the
hmm
second oldest, right?
Max
Max
is
is.
second oldest. Yeah, so Bran would be
So
the
it's him and
oldest.
Bran. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay. Um, Also chapter 5. Zareth is plotting to take over Ara, and he has this spell cast into his blood that mixes like his blood with Tisana so that if he dies, she does as well. And then this is like his insurance policy so that no one tries to off him in the next 5 years of her blood pact that she made with them.
Yeah. Seen that one coming a mile away.
Did you really?
Oh yeah.
That he was going to use. Well, I mean, I knew that there was
Well, I mean, like I figured there'd be like a some type of
there. Oh
stipulation,
yeah, he was
kind of
way
thing.
too okay with what she had going on. So yeah.
Yeah. And I think this is kind of what we're talking about. So, and I don't remember seeing it in your notes earlier, but like we're getting split up. Max is going one way and
Mm-hmm.
she's staying with Nira
And
closer to
Zareth.
home.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, they're gonna go
home
take over all of the houses that have not allied with them.
Yep.
So okay.
Dictator.
Yeah, for real. Okay, chapter 6. So quick little note since we did discuss it some earlier. Tisana thinks back to her life in Nizarene before it fell and they fled. So this would be in Nizarene before, like, long before she became a slave. But she thinks of her father's study. She has this memory of her being in her father's study. She doesn't say much more than that, but it does imply that she did know her father.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yup. Okay. So I feel like this is interesting.
Hmm.
And that we are just now kind of starting to mention the dad because we talked about this in the
Mm-hmm.
last book. There's no mention of dad.
Nope.
And I was like, okay, does she know her dad? And this is another, like, it does piss me off. Okay, like we
Mm-hmm.
know stuff, but we're not saying stuff. But now we're starting to say stuff to the author or the reader. The author's starting
Mm-hmm.
to say stuff through them, to whatever, to the reader. But like, I'm noticing like some of these things are right before Afy's chapters.
Mm-hmm.
So, another tack on my fucking board here.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then
And I
I
will
also
say
had,
real quick
oh,
before you move on to your next one,
yep.
I do have it on very good authority from a friend who has read this series. We were talking about it and she was doing her best not to give me spoilers this past Friday before tonight. Um, that this is not going to be one of those stories where it's like she knew a bunch about herself and then all of a sudden we find out that she knew it. She actually does not know anything about her. Like what we're finding out is what
God
she's
damn
finding
it,
out.
that is a spoiler.
That's not a spoiler.
Oh yeah, it is. No, I know exactly. I know what's going on now.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. Keep going.
I already have this fucking figured out. Okay. So, chapter 6. Moth has joined the military.
Hmm.
Just I want to put that out there because I also didn't see it in your notes. So
No, I wasn't sure if it was going to be important or not, but it is worth mentioning for sure.
something's gonna go down. Moth better not die, and we better not hurt that boy. I'll hurt some.
I know, I kind of feel like it might happen though. Okay,
Okay.
chapter 7. So we're now back to Afy's point of view. Um, and I think I started writing a note and then I moved on and didn't come back to it because that's all I have here.
Yeah, all
Chapter
I
7,
put
we're
for
here.
chapter 7 was she's talking about being rejected by the gods. And I think this is
Okay.
one of the times that she's talking with
Cad
Cad1
Cadwan. Okay.
when they're
Yeah, I'm
like
pretty sure I
training or
just
something.
started writing a note and then like was like, okay, I'll find out more and then I'll come back and finish this note and then I
Yeah,
didn't
I
finish
think
it.
I did the exact same thing. I think I did the exact same thing.
Mm.
But yeah, I put this verse is talking about being rejected by the
Okay.
gods. So
Okay.
because it also says that like she was at some point like she was rejected by the gods. At another point, she says she was touched by the gods.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that going on throughout this.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay. Chapter 9, Tasana asks Rashay, so they have this little conversation. She asks Rashay about itself and what it, he, she, whatever it is, wants. And it does not remember fully any of the hosts before Max. It implies that it has lived in this state of being basically a parasite, being somewhere between life and death for so long that it does not remember anything else.
yeah.
So interesting because it gives us a tiny bit of information, a little bit of background on Riche and what's going on there, just a tiny bit. Chapter 10, Cadwan speaks of the stone-held Atrevez butterflies. So apparently they are
Mhm.
among a very small number of fey-dwelling creatures with an inherent sensitivity to magic. Trace amounts, but not enough to anticipate things that go beyond the typical sense of an insect. As a result, they are difficult to kill and have an explosive population in Attico, which is one of the Fey realms. Um, so at the faintest hint of danger, they leave, like all at once. And the
Mhm.
morning of the attack in the Stone Realm or whatever wherever he's from, like all of them left all at once. He says it sounded like rain.
Mhm. So, and then I screenshotted this instantly
Mm,
again, which basically all of what you just said, right? And then
hmm
I added it again to another tack from a string theory board.
hmm
But I know you have another note, but like it goes right into I'll get there when we get there, but it goes into something else.
Okay,
So I know that these butterfly things are important.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely, they're important. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll let you have your other note though.
Okay. So then again in chapter 10, so Cadwan speaks of the attack on the House of Stone. He says it was humans. They were outnumbered, or the humans outnumbered the Fae there 3-1, and he says how many of them were magic wielders. He says that the humans have magic, and this is from the book, he says again now. So they have magic
Mm-hmm.
again. So because we don't have a whole lot of history on the magic in the human realms and where it came from, when it came from, all that stuff, I'm just guessing that this is sometime during the earlier years, like 500 years or so be earlier, because that's when magic came like back to the humans, as far as we know so far. I'm still kind of
Right.
unsure on the timing of all of this.
Uh-huh. And this
So,
is another thing that like it's on the board. I just
mm,
don't have a string to it yet.
yeah. Yeah, it's definitely sitting there in my mind, like where are we at and when and what's going on. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. I just had another chapter 10. This is also Afy's dad, who I could not remember his damn name when I was trying to write
No,
shit down.
it's Tiern.
Cadwan, yeah. Cadwan to the House of Stone. He coronates him. That's what he
Mm-hmm.
does.
Mm-hmm.
He coronates him, not coordinates him. He coronates him. Um, and it's like there's like a dozen people, and he like just seems kind of like pissed off about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like dad's like, oh yeah, this is a good idea. We need to do this. And like makes him a little crown and everything. He's just kind of like this fucking stupid.
Yeah, he does
I'm the
not
king of
care.
12 people or whatever he says.
I like
Um
him. I don't know how you
yeah, and
feel about
he's
him,
like,
but
I
I
don't want to
like
be in the
Cadwan.
house or whatever, just like sitting and drinking tea while people are off. He's like, I need to be doing something. Like,
Yeah,
so
I like him. I like his outlook on things right now.
yeah. Yep,
Okay,
I think I agree.
chapter 12. So Zareth sends Tisana and Eslin, which is one of our Sirazine that we've
Mhm.
known for a little bit here, into the fighting that has now come to their door. He gives Eslin this like vial of something and says to use it. And at the time I was reading this, I thought he meant to use it on Tisana. I kept waiting to see what was going to happen there. But to use it to win. And then um Eslin like looks at him and then says, "Is this dot 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 nothing else?" And then Zareth just says yes and ushers them off.
Yeah.
So, which we
Okay.
find out more about these vials later. But
Yes. So, chapter 12. Here we go. Finally, some action. Okay. So, Tasana more or less convinces Roche that they should not. Okay. So, all these people are there. They're like, okay, we got to take the cliff down and then kill them all. Right.
Mhm.
And then, like, so she's having this battle with Roche and she's like, I don't want to kill all these people. So, what she decides is that she's going to push them back. Right. So, she pushes them far enough back. And then when she collapses the cliff, oh wait, no, wait, hold on. Okay, so she decides that um, they're not going to kill them, right? But
Mhm.
instead, they want them to be able to go back alive and to show like the strength of her power, kind of thing
Mhm.
like that. And she uses the words, see her as a god.
Mhm.
And so, after she pushes them back, like with wind power, whatever, again, another just kind of like thing that I don't remember her like really having before. She pushes them back out of the way, and then the cliff collapses, right? She gets the cliff to collapse. And
Mhm.
then what like the people see of her is the bloody ba- blood. Why is this one hard? Bloody butterflies coming out from her, and then
Mhm.
flowing red wings. Dot
Mhm.
dot dot.
Mhm.
So I thought that was interesting right after like the butterfly thing. But then also like that was like what she could make from the beginning
Right,
was
that's
just these
always been what she could
butterflies,
do. Yeah.
these little butterflies. So
Yeah, it's been
again,
those
it's just
creatures have
kind of
been a
things that
big
are like right
player.
after, you know what I mean? I don't
Mhm.
remember what chapter in between this was, but it was probably a max chapter. But
Yeah.
um again, it seems like it's either one or the other right before things come in. So those are kind of like going together.
Mhm. Yeah. And I also had the like same as you where I was like, wait, like this wind power and all that, but I had to remember that she has the like Solary and Valtane. It seems like she really can wield both of them pretty strongly powers anyways. Then with Roche, she's got like the like it amplifies her powers and then that's where she gets like the rot and the like red bloody butterflies and all that kind of stuff come from. So it's like she still has the power from the Solary and the Beltane that she was wielding long before she had Roche. So it's not just the rot that's her power. She's got all kinds of stuff in her arsenal, pretty much.
Yeah, I guess. I just remember that she says like in the very beginning in the first book, she has like intention magic. And then
Mm-hmm.
she can make things. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like she can
Mm-hmm.
read the minds of other people for their
Right.
intentions. And that's all it says about her magic. And then she can make these little things, right?
But then when she was training with Max, like he was teaching her how to learn how to use like how to wield like the water and how to wield the elements and all those kinds of things as well. So she was learning how
Oh,
to
yeah.
wield all that stuff before Riche came in and then the rot thing came into play as well. So she got way more than one power.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
just saying it just seems like it just keeps adding and adding and adding, which I think is important, but
Yeah.
I don't know yet. Is it important or is it pissing me off? I don't know which one. Maybe it's both. I don't know.
Both,
But
probably both.
all right, you had the
Okay.
next one.
Chapter 13. So another Aphid point of view. So Queen Shadia and her clan arrive. They are winged. They are bright and
Mm,
like light, basically, in contrast to the Sydney or Obsidians. Like they're dark, like they're leather, like they wear dark leathers and stuff like that. And these guys are like very scantily clad and they're very bright and winged and stuff. Anyways, they devise a plan to unite and figure out what is going on with the humans. And Aphie is amongst those that are selected to go on this scouting mission that we
well,
embark on here.
and this is also kind of where I seen like very much like the similarities to also like the Valtane and
Solary. Yes.
Solary. Yes.
Yes.
A
Same, same,
lot
same.
of a lot of sames, right?
Mm-hmm. A
So
lot.
yeah.
Picked up on
Interesting,
that too.
interesting, interesting. Okay. So chapter 16, we have Afi, Cadwan, Ishka, Shaban, and Ashria. And they're
Hmm.
all fighting about like eating birds and rodents, etc. or whatever. And which is funny. And
Hmm.
then Cadwan says, "You are all acting like children,"
Hmm.
which I should have put this in quotes. But this book is titled Children of Fallen Gods. Okay.
Sure.
And we're always looking for like
The
the
connection.
reasoning behind the connection, whatever. And so now my head is spinning. And then this is another tack, but it's on both sides of my string board now. And I have strings
Mm.
going opposite directions. And I'm
Yeah,
confusing myself.
I feel the same
But
way. Yeah.
yeah, okay. So
Okay.
we'll come back to those.
Okay. All right, 17. I'm guessing here, and this is in chapter 17, and I actually don't know after finishing the book if I still agree with my thought here in this chapter, but in chapter 17, I said I'm guessing that Zareth's little spell that connects him and Tisana, so that he like dies if she does too, has some like unwelcome side effects. Namely, that he feels what she feels, at least somewhat, and because like the exhaustion, lack of energy, he seems to be struggling just as much as she is after each battle. Because when she uses Riche, she gets just full on exhausted and just down and out for like 2 days. Um, and he kind of seems to be feeling it as well. But now, after reading the end of the book, I don't know if I agree with my own thought there anymore, but
Mm,
we can come back to that when we get down to that part. So,
okay.
chapter 17. So Kira, which is Max's little sister who was obsessed with bugs and creatures and things, um, she had an Atravis butterfly, which we know she had a butterfly in the first book when we see her with Max through Riche's eyes or whatever. But we don't know what kind. It's just a butterfly.
Hmm.
And then Tisana is walking through the library at the home, Max's childhood home there, and she sees this preserved butterfly in a glass case. Dead, obviously, at this point, but like preserved and whatnot. And I can't remember the guy's name, and this is probably one that I should have put in there. But there's one of the like head guys in the orders, one of the council members or whatever is there with her, and he's like, oh yeah, that's an Atravis butterfly, and then he gives her some history on it. And so it's interesting that Kira had one in the human realms because it seems like they're supposed to be native in the Fey realms only at this point.
Hmm.
So yeah, the butterflies are very, very important for sure. All right, and then unless you had any thoughts on that.
Nope.
Okay. Chapter 19. So they, as in, so we're back at a Aphie point of view here. They get to the House of Reeds.
Hmm.
And there seems to be no one there at all. They go to look around. There's like in the temple, there's this quote unquote woman saying over and over in the same tone, don't take them. And then they go up to her thinking she's like in distress or whatever, and then she turns on them. Her body is very unnatural, like human, but kind of off. Spine is longer, limbs are weird. But she has long blonde hair and no face, just like this weird foggy mist where her face should have been. And then she like tears into them. And then so it's uh Afi and is it what's his name?
Ishka.
Ishka. Afi and Ishka, they're the ones who went in to explore. They
Hmm.
escape the temple, escape this lady who's like trying to kill them, lady thing, whatever. And they find many more of the same sort of creature coming up out of the water. Because this is like the House of Reeds is like a swampland, basically, is what I'm
Yeah, that's what it sounds
imagining.
like. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they fight, but they realize they can't win. They really can't even kill these things. And Ishka goes to fly them out when one tears into one of his wings. So then we find out what the curse is in Afi's blood, her magic. Um, she bites into Ishka's arm, swallows a couple mouthfuls of his blood, and then she takes his magic. So that's this curse, is that she's able to do this. And then she's able to take his magic and become like him, grow wings, and
She
flies them out.
shifts
Yeah,
into a
she shifts. She
bird.
creates wings and flies them out of there.
So my only note from this chapter was Aphie is a blood-sucking, magic-stealing vampire.
Yeah.
More text for the red string board.
Yes.
Also, I don't know where
Yes.
they're going, but they're in there. And I just
Yes.
want to put out she's a fucking vampire.
Yep.
She's not a fae, she's a vampire.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, whoa, did I read that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm not
you,
hating it.
you you picked this book, so of course there's gonna be fucking
Of
vampires.
course. Okay. So here we go, talking about my note back in 17 where I was like, Zareth is feeling what Tasana's feeling or whatever. So, anyways, in chapter 20, we find out that the vials that Zareth gives Eslin are for her, for Eslin, not for
Mm-hmm.
Tasana. They make her magic stronger, but it also seems to take a really big toll on her, on Eslin.
Mm-hmm. And I don't remember who Tessana's talking to. Maybe it's just herself, but that she believes that Zareth is like this has got to be some type of dark magic. I
Yes,
think
I
she
don't
says one
remember.
other thing with it, but like either
Uh-huh.
dark magic or different magic, I think is what
Yes,
she
you're
says.
right. I don't
But she
remember
does
the
say dark
specifics, but
magic.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, you're definitely right there.
So then that's like, I don't know, interesting because of what we're like I said, like there it's not parallelly, but like I don't know, like you're kind of seeing it one place, hearing about it in another
Right.
kind of thing.
Right.
The whole so
Yep.
far. So
Yep.
it's kind of weird,
So
but
also, I guess this does go with that. I know it's four chapters later, but in chapter 24, so again, so here we are. This is actually a Max POV
mhm,
chapter, but Imara tells Max that traditional magic could not create a spell that binds one life to another, but Fey magic possibly could. Max says that the Fae have been extinct for 500 years, to which Imara kind of balks at him, like, "Come on, you're smarter than that. You should
mhm,
know better. Come on." Um, but she says how it could be a mixture of Valtane, Solary, and a fourth magic, but the wielder would risk getting this
a mare.
Amaryl, Amaryl, um, which is a magic toxicity sickness.
Yes.
So,
My question to you was, am I the only one
yeah.
trying to figure out what the third magic is then? Because I was like counting on my fingers and I was like, okay, I can do this on one hand. It says four, and I'm doing this, and I'm like, I'm still missing number three then. So did you like figure that out?
Right. And I had to read this a couple of times because I had the same thought. But in chapter 24, in my physical book, it'd be on page 182, it says, Imara says, perhaps hybrid approaches, Valtane and Solary and Fey magic. So one, two, three, Valtane, Solary, Fey, all manipulated until they become something that is all and none of them at once. a fourth type, which we've yet to fully uncover. So 1, 2, 3 would be Valtane, Solary, and Fae mixed together to create a fourth type. And then the next sentence says a fourth magic, like Richey, like the magic that it had left inside of me, which is this is a Max POV, so the magic that had left inside of him.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's the Valtane, Solary, and Fae mixed together, which creates a fourth magic,
Maybe I was
which
just
could
too
be like
busy
Richey.
trying to count and I wasn't paying attention to that
I
part.
did definitely read that little paragraph like 2 or 3 times before it kind of clicked. So,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, cool. And then I also just
Oh,
wanted
go
to
ahead.
put out
Yeah.
that like I think it is interesting that this Amara or whatever we're calling her,
Mm-hmm.
Amara is like scoffing at like that the Fae went extinct 500 years ago.
Right.
So that is also another tack on my fucking board. Like,
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And now like some things connect and some things don't. So
Mm-hmm. Yep, same page as you on that one.
yeah.
Okay, so then in 24, Max is like, "Can you help me figure this out? Because I want to figure out how to get rid of this blood pact with Tisana and Zareth, and I want to figure out how to release her from this blood magic thing that he's got going on that connects the two of them." She
Yep.
tells him to talk to, what's his name? Vardir.
Oh, Vardir.
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 So this is our first time hearing about Vardir. Talk to him about breaking this blood pact or whatever. We, as the readers, don't know him yet, but Max does apparently, and he says that he's a quote miserable madman, and he is the one responsible for Richey. Which, okay, in book one, who did we find out was the one that like found Richey? They don't ever give a
I don't
name, but
remember,
they
but I
say
don't think oh
like,
there was a name.
was there a name?
Yes, but I don't remember what it was.
Gosh, dang it. I should have gone back and looked. Okay, maybe I will before we record
Hold
next
on.
time.
Okay, I found it.
Okay.
So this would have been the second episode we did in
Is this one
the
of my
first
notes
book.
from?
Yes, this is one of your notes.
Okay.
And it's chapter 44 of Daughter of No Worlds. It's you said so Zareth's predecessor, Azrir, is the one who somehow procured Richey somewhere past Bezrith, and he conveniently died before anyone could find out exactly where Richey came from.
Hmm. Okay, so this person, Zareth's predecessor, apparently procured it, but this book says that Verdir is responsible for it.
Yes.
So are they
So
one and the same, or are they both pieces of the puzzle?
exactly. I'm not sure.
Okay. I'm sure we'll find out,
I'm
hopefully.
sure. Hopefully.
We're starting to get
Hopefully.
more history, which I'm appreciating very much. So
Yes.
hopefully.
Things are starting to make more sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so then chapter 26, our final chapter. This is in AP POV again. Cadwan found a Fey woman's body outside of the city of the House of Reeds after they like lit it on fire and like destroyed all of the creatures, which it kind of seemed to me, sorry, bunny trail just a little bit here, like the weird creatures with the milky faces that were destroying or trying to kill Afi and Ishka were the people of the House of Reeds that had been like turned, basically.
Yeah, I wonder that too.
Yeah, it's kind of
Giving
what I
me
got
like
from that.
vampire fucking vibes all over again.
Yeah. Yeah, like
I do
vampire
want to,
zombie things, kind of
yeah,
sort of
I
thing.
do. So it wasn't just her that they were talking about. They also, like, it's a slightly later, he mentions that there was a human as well, and that's where you'll find him, kind of thing.
Right,
That was
right.
just
So
like
she
hers
found like this, he found like this Fey woman's body, and then yeah, he did find a human like down the way from this Fey,
with the
also
same
gone.
situation. Yeah.
Right. So he does like this aut it's an autopsy. He does an
Yeah.
autopsy and finds a mixture of Fey and human blood within this Fey woman. And also like something else. He's like, there's a third thing here, and it's like gray and decaying. And he theorizes that the humans were trying to create a hybrid of sorts using Fey and human magic, and the result is this like rotting and melting of this Fey host. Um, and then they surmise that the only possible answers are in Naraja, which is, like you said, a kingdom of half-breed traders. Fae and human half-breeds.
Yeah. And again, they're saying how Naraja is the most southern in the realm, and it is a nation that has been exiled, and they can't go unless they want to be exiled themselves.
Yep. And like I said, looking at the map, it's like this little island that is pretty much perfectly in the middle of Threll and the Feylands.
Very interesting.
Okay.
Very interesting.
We made it through plot points.
We made it. So close in honorable mentions. I just had like the one or
Uh,
two, but I already like put them up because
they
at first
went
I thought they
in,
were
yeah.
funny, and then I was like, wait a minute, hold on.
We there's some plot
Wait
with
a
this.
minute. There's some plot in here.
Yeah, I
So
didn't have any because I had the same thing.
same
So,
kind of thoughts, yeah. All right, Love Island, and who we're shipping to it.
um, Afi and Kedwan.
Fair. I put
Yep,
that
that's all I
fair.
got for that.
Even though there's really nothing there other than they spent the first night together because he asked her to stay.
Well,
But
she
other than
keeps
that,
like the little buzzwords though that you pick up
hmm
on, like how intimate this moment all of a sudden became and things like that. They're very fleeting, but there are moments that make me think and how she appreciates his outlook on life, his angry
sure.
outlook on life,
I mean, some people
simmering
are
quiet
just
anger.
angry, and that's okay.
He's just angry, but he's like quiet angry.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's up first for thoughts and theories?
I'll go first just because I know for a fact I'm sure I don't have as many thoughts and theories as you do because that's just how I
God
go.
damn it. Okay, fine.
No, do if you want to go first,
No,
please.
I don't. I mean, I don't want to go first, but I think you might be right. I might have more thoughts and theories
You
somehow.
always do.
I hated the first book,
I know
and
you
now
did.
I'm like, okay, it's time to settle down, kids. Okay, you go first.
Okay. Shoot, where do I even start here? So, I'm definitely theorizing here that the Aphie stuff is like 500 years earlier, at least, or wait, at most, maybe slightly less. Anyways, it's history. I think it's history. I think it is. I don't know, like you said, I've got strings going in different directions here. Because at first I'm like, this is where Richer started. This is how Richer started.
Mhm.
Um, I still think that. But also, is this also where the magic for the humans started? Where the two people, I can't remember their names now, that started the orders came from.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
but I don't know, because if the humans have magic in the past in these Fae chapters, if they have magic, they're calling them wielders, they say the humans have magic now, then they wouldn't have gotten magic from the Fae.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm a little confused. I'm more on the track of like this is where Richer came from. I'm also kind of on this weird track that maybe this has something to do with Tisana and like her ancestry as well. We still don't know who her father is. The Fae can live forever. They not forever, but they have much longer lifespans. They did make that clear in this book.
Oh,
So
like she might be connected.
maybe her mom got together with a Fae of some sort. Maybe Afi and Cadwan are end up being one of
Because
her ancestors. I don't know. I have thoughts. I don't have theories. Like always.
if they're that far up, yeah.
No, I
Oh,
don't.
the blah blah blah.
The
Oh
Blutterflies. We could
shit.
call them Blutter.
The
Let's call them
butterflies,
Blutterflies.
the
They're
butterflies,
Blutterflies
the
at this
butterflies, and the flowing
point.
red wings.
Okay, so yeah, the butterflies have big. They're connected hugely. I really don't know how, but the butterflies are supposed to be in the Fey realms. Obviously, there's at least one in the human realms because Kira had one. Um, I don't know if maybe this is how like Richer got transferred over to the human realms from the Fey realms. I feel like I had a lot more thoughts and theories when I was reading it. I really need to get better about writing them down as I go because I'm lost now. I don't know what I think. I think a lot of things, but I'm not sure. Why don't you go because you can like put it into words better for me and I can tell you what I agree with and what I don't. Go for it. You go for it.
Okay, so this starts with I can't decide if the A chapters are
Mm-hmm.
past or
Right.
present.
Same.
So if it's past, this is 100% her parents.
Okay. I really had that same
100%.
thought. Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't mean that they were 500 years ago. They could have been there and gone. And then, okay, so if this is past, how did they get there? Well, they're using obviously this middle fucking ground that's probably not a bad
Right.
place. They're exiled. And it's
Right.
probably where humans and Fae live cohesively, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where she came from. Also wondering if this is past
Mm-hmm.
or past-ish. If because Nizarine and Naraja or whatever, I don't know, given me
Yeah.
same vibes.
Yeah.
And the fact that Zareth was always seeing her multiple times, coming to see her when she was a child before she got
Mm-hmm.
taken,
Mm-hmm.
even, and like following her around
Mm-hmm.
makes me wonder if he is also either from this Nigeria or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. He goes back and forth if he's also kind of some middle ground type thing. Um
Which would make some sense because he only in this book have we heard him like even refer to himself as basically like a bastard, like somebody not worthy of the title he holds.
yep.
So yeah, that does make sense. Okay, I like
Yep.
it.
And why he would want more power than he's owed or whatever, and he doesn't like the idea of the peacefulness, and I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that he is gaining this. It kind of also gives me this thing of like he's gaining all this power, this kingdom, whatever. He wants all of it so that he can go after the Fey realms.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my thought of like if this is the present,
Mm-hmm.
then I think this Naraja place, like I think these are two things going on at the same time. I
Okay.
think this Naraj place is like a possible portal between the two realms.
Okay.
Like they're there, but like you said, like there was cloudy mist and stuff like that
Yeah, yeah.
in the
Mm-hmm.
first map. And that's what made me started thinking about it when you said that. I was like, okay, it's just got to be something that they get through because that's like in a lot of different books. Okay, a couple that
Right.
I've read too. It's like a misty type of thing or a realm divider of sorts, right? And only so
Yes.
many people or certain kinds of people can pass through. So that's kind of a thought. And then he is able to figure out that the spot to go through there is there, and then that's how he's like sending these half-breeded people because he's probably sitting there trying to make his own Rocher. And that's why he
Mm-hmm.
had that room that she was in. Remember, there's like bodies in there that she
Yep.
couldn't tell if they were alive or not when she goes in to get Rocher. So he's obviously doing experiments or having somebody do experiment to try to recreate the Rocher so
Mm-hmm.
they can probably go in and seeing if they can get them into the Fey realms to go do some shit, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's my thought there. If it's still in the past, if their stuff is in the past,
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, okay, this series is called The War of Lost Hearts. So that brings me back to where the fuck does this come from? And then we have the Children of Fallen Gods. So I'm wondering if these five, let's see who we have. We have caught, Jesus, Codwin, Aphie, Ishka, those ones. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
that five. Okay, that five. What if at some point they are having to give up the last piece of their heart because this rot is taking them over or whatever,
Mm.
and they put it in to this make this one heart that remember is like what beats in Rocher or I
Mm-hmm.
don't
Mm-hmm.
remember, but and it's
Mm-hmm.
multiple pieces of the heart because you go back to the weird like fighting naked in a field thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then like the different rays of light that she could see,
Yeah.
and then like how she knew the one purple one was for sure friggin' what's his buckets Max's. Okay, but there's other light. I'm just saying, what if it's all of like their hearts, quote unquote, and now she's taking in all of that? Does she take in all the power? Is she like all this sorts of things?
Mm.
And she is going to, I don't know. I don't know.
I
Okay,
feel like you
but
know more than me because I really like all this that you're
I'm putting
saying.
shit together on shit that I
I
was
don't
confused on last
disagree
time.
with anything that you're
I
saying.
have strings everywhere. But
Yeah.
I do think that this could be going on side by side. And
Parallel
that
stories.
Aphie, yes, and
Absolutely.
Aphie
Mm-hmm.
and Tasana are going to meet. And it is going to be through this somehow able to go between these two realms, or maybe it's going to be in this one place, or I don't know. But I think Zaldrith Zareth is sending this rot to the realms if it is in the present.
And Zareth knows so much more about the Fae than
Yes.
we realized because when he
Yes.
drew the map for her, which I didn't pick up on until you said that, the
Which
Fae
apparently
realms
she
were in
knows
there.
more about the Fae too.
Right.
And it's very interesting how like these things are happening, like the way things are talking. Like
Hmm.
I think it's like right after or right before she's like, my father's study. And we're like, who the fuck?
You're right.
And it's like either right before or right after it starts talking about a chapter that has, oh, I think it's like right before or right after Afy and Codwin comes into the fucking story.
Yeah, I think so.
So so those are most of mine. And then I wanna, have we gotten a visual description of Afy yet?
We have not. I don't think we
Okay,
have.
because her mom, she remembers her mom as being dark hair and green eyes.
Right.
So, and then we
And the
don't know
green
what her
eyes are a
father
very
looks like.
obsidian, like a green eyes is an obsidian only kind of thing.
Is
They
it?
did say that.
Okay. So I think I'm on the right track. I think this is past, and those are her parents, but I'm not sure yet because I do think this could be going on at the same time.
I am with you on that. Both of those. I really don't know, but both are very plausible.
Yes. Um, and okay, so like the rot in the cadavers. Okay, I'm calling them
Yeah.
cadavers.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, very similar to Tasana's rotting ability.
Yes. I did think that too.
Magic abil, I'm just gonna call it an ability at this moment because that's kind of
Sure.
weird to say you have rotting magic. Um, yeah, I
Hmm.
think that's all I've got for my, like I
That's
said, I've
great.
got tax all over the damn board,
Oh yeah. Hmm.
but not, I don't have a lot of connections yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm getting, I'm more leaning on, but yeah, as soon as it was like Afy, and then just this person, and then we're learning a whole bunch about her really, really fast, and like the like quick connection with obviously this dude. It's like, okay, this is past, and we're gonna find out that she's, or we're gonna figure out who she is, just like with, I don't want to spoil it, but just like with another
Yeah.
book that we just read.
Hmm.
It's very like, okay, because this is in the past, we've got to get this story out, and then
Hmm.
like the reader's going to figure it out like through these different clues, or they'll figure it out at the end. We'll find out.
Hmm.
um so I think that definitely could be the same case here, where it's like you're either going to figure it out really quick or you'll figure it out somewhere along the way,
Yeah.
but that this is her parents, and obviously they're dead, so see what happens there. But I think
Yeah.
it's because of that couple lines in the first book in the prologue that I was like, okay, her mom's a queen. But if, okay, Aunt Afy is supposed to be in line, basically, or she's supposed to be the queen. Okay, if Tyrion is king, then Tyranness would be queen.
Right.
So if she's supposed to be the queen, she's the heir, supposed to be the queen, and touched by gods or cursed by gods, like
Hmm.
the couple of words that are thrown around like that. Okay, like what
Hmm.
actually is it there? And then it's like children of the fallen gods. I don't know
Hmm.
what I'm where I'm at this point. I think I'm just pinning up random words at this point. But I'm just saying, I'm talking myself into it that I'm fairly positive that those are her parents, but I am not object to these are parallels.
Yeah. Same.
And
Okay.
I am purely here for Afy's story.
Yeah, I am loving Afy's story. I was so enjoying her chapters, and then it was like back to, well, the Max chapter is like, eh, great, a Max
Eh,
chapter. This can be boring. And then Tasana's chapter is like, okay, maybe a little more interesting than the Afy chapter. I'm like, yes. Okay, I just had this one, like, as you're talking, very random, very unhinged thought that might go
I love it.
completely nowhere. What if, because we don't know that her dad is dead. We know her mom's dead.
No, we have no fucking clue.
Actually, that's not true. We don't know her mom's dead. We are theorizing that her mom is dead. We know
We're
her mom was
theorizing her
taken
mom
to
was
the
dead because she was
mines,
taken to the mines.
but we don't know. But that's where, like, nobody makes it out of the mines alive. However, we don't have
But
confirmation that she's gone.
but they were able to bring back 150 slaves from the slave camp. But they could have been from all over the place. But
Right, right. And maybe they hadn't been sent to anywhere yet either.
yeah,
Maybe they're in holding. Anyways, we don't actually know that her parents are dead yet.
true.
So, with that thought, we also know nothing about her dad except for that he had this study.
Mhm.
And
Supposedly.
we don't know anything about him. Okay, here's my random unhinged thought. I almost feel like I'm gonna regret saying this out loud. What if what if Zareth is her father? What if
Dude, I
he
had
is
that thought.
okay,
I
okay,
took it off my pin board just because it pissed me off, but I had the same
right?
fucking thought.
Okay, but
Or
like you
grandfather.
said, okay, sure, like family of some sort. I'm kind of on the father
Hmm.
thing now because, like you said, he's like, he knows about her.
He
He
her.
is following her. He's like teaching her things and like, oh yeah, come
Strategically
find me in the
placed
orders.
stratagrams straight to Nizarin.
Yes, yes. And we don't know anything about him except for that he's supposedly like this low-born scum that has worked his way up or killed his way up through the orders,
Hmm.
is more what it sounds like. And he's obviously a psychopath who needs therapy. So maybe he, maybe in his own fucked up way, this is how he's like, well, he's using her, obviously. I don't think he, like, if he is her father, okay, let's just say he's her father. He doesn't love her. But in his own fucked up way, this is how he's like getting close with her and he's using her for his own ends. He knows so much more about her than anybody's letting on. We don't know anything about him. We don't know anything about her father. I'm gonna throw it out there. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But maybe.
Yeah, I had the exact same thought. It went up on the pin board and then I threw it away.
Well, good for
Like
you for at least having it.
it's still in the
It
room.
just popped into my head when you were talking. So
It was a thought I had when I was thinking about all this afternoon. I was like, oh my goodness, this is gonna be a long episode because we're not gonna be able to shut up because I have thoughts now.
it has been a longer episode. We didn't get on till a little bit later, but yeah, we're definitely going longer.
Hmm. And that is okay. All
Hmm.
right. Anything else?
No.
Did you cry?
No.
Thank God. Okay. We hope you all have enjoyed this episode of reading and discussing with us. Next week, we will be continuing the series with Book 2, Children of Fallen Gods, with chapters 27 through 58.
If you can't wait until next week to continue talking about the War of Lost Hearts series, jump over to the Fable app and discuss with us spoiler-free chapter by chapter.
And as always, buddy reading any book with book besties is so much fun.
So make sure to share our podcast with your book besties, and if you don't have any book besties,
Then become one of ours. And until next week, fill those drinks with ice.
and your books with spice.
Bye.
Bye.